younger people like you and the younger professionals like you, because Esther told me of the team, in other words, the composition of the audience today. Since you are our target, I'm going to take 1 or 2, 3 minutes to tell you about our services at African Center for Career Mentorship. Then I will dive into the story for today. So African Center for Career Mentorship is also called Pearl Mentor Hub. So when you double check, some of our socials and what, you'll be finding those two names. So African Center is our brand name, but in the books of registration, Uganda, we registered as Pearl Mentor Hub. So we have a vision that we are contributing to, or that we are working towards. Our interest is to set up a functional and an operational one center of excellence for youth and professionals career mentorship. And so that's why when we have such audience, we're excited and happy to come and make a contribution. Our mission is to equip youth and professionals growing and changing job market skills and support them discover their full potential for socio-economic transformation of Africa. I told you, you are our target. The youth, the younger people are our target. And so we are very eager when invited and when there's an opportunity to contribute. So we want to thank INT for identifying us, but also we are happy to continue working with INT moving forward. So this is a very small flyer. It has details about the services that we offer. And please, you're free to take it a photo and you can always keep referencing to it in the future. I will not focus on more on it because I'm going to explain each of them. So at African Center for Career Mentorship, we believe in building capacity. We believe in supporting younger people. We believe in empowering them. So what we do, we have free weekly webinars, free weekly meetings. I'll use the word meetings for people who are not covered with webinars, where we invite different speakers to come and speak to the professionals, but also youth. These speakers discuss different topics. And we did a survey in 2021. And so the youth told us what they want to listen to and what they want to be mentored through. So we normally pick topics from those, that research we did, and then we have our facilitators come and take members through those aspects. This is a free service, and please, you're highly, highly welcome to come and listen to these great speakers. If that happens every Tuesday from 7 to 8 p.m. But if at all you get busy or you don't find time, our YouTube channel is open and publicly available. And when you go there, you'll find resources on different topics. And I want to clearly say that these talks are really towards making you fit into the 21st century job market, but also winning international scholarships. That is where our focus is. So you're really welcome, because many people's lives are getting transformed through these webinars. Then we have what we call international scholarships applications coaching. Now in 2021, when we did a survey, the youth told us that their biggest problem was where to get credible scholarship information. So we said, okay, if this is the biggest problem that our Ugandan youth are struggling with, we collaborated with our partners, some of the scholars in the USA and UK, and we formed what we call UG scholarships groups. And those groups are filling from time to time. So right now we have 9 groups. These groups, you are free to join them, more so if you're looking for scholarships. Even if you want to join today, after this call, please just inbox me and I will add you to those groups. Joining those groups is free of charge. We only share verified information in those groups. So altogether, we have close to 30,000 youth. Now, later on, we discovered that it is beyond giving the youth information. Because even when we gave them information, less than 100 youth were actually applying. So we discovered that actually these international scholarships, they need somebody to hold your hand. They need somebody to guide them one-on-one. They need somebody to help you review your essays before you submit them. Because many people who just submit essays without somebody helping them to review them, they were not making it, they were not succeeding. So we introduced a service called coaching, and so we support you, we work with you, and if you want to discuss more about this, just contact us. We'll be happy to support you on the same. We also work with organizations and institutions to train their staff and also build coaching and mentorship programs for those organizations. So far, I've worked with 5 organizations since 2022, and we are progressing. So please, if you work with an organization that wants to have trainings in leadership, change management, emotional intelligence, performance management, excellence at work, we are happy to collaborate with those organizations. And we normally engage with the leadership or the organizers to design the content, to design the training that they want. Very interesting is that we discovered that when people looked at my CV, they began saying, we also want to learn how to publish papers. We also want to learn how to win grants like you. I said, okay, that is no brain teaser. We can have sessions and we take you through how to write proposals and win grants, but also how to write and publish scientific papers. Because it is also a process for you to have your scientific publication or scientific paper accepted into international journals, such that you become an author or you become a scholar. And so we have that service. And if somebody is interested in publishing their work or writing for grants, we are happy to support them in that aspect. So this is what we are talking about today. So for today's session, it is free of charge. INET requested me to come and give that service free of charge. But if you want us to work with you and we finalize it, in other words, we improve it, and you want our time to help you read through, organize with you, we charge some small money, which is 100,000 Ugandan shillings. And it takes us about 3 meetings or 3 weeks to have your CV well aligned. And I'm going to show you what it takes in our session today. But even today, we will make sure we cover everything. So don't worry that maybe we may not cover sufficiently well. But if you want more time or you want more feedback on your CV, it normally takes us around 3 meetings to 4 for us to really finish. This is from experience, because some people don't normally finish the CV in just one sitting or one meeting. We also support you to review and improve your statement of purpose or motivation letter. Now, this is a highly requested for document for international scholarships and for international jobs. They ask you, why do you want to go for this master's, for example? Why do you want to go for this diploma, for example? And from experience, many youth and professionals struggle to articulate why they want to go for particular things. When they ask them, why have you come to attend this session today? They may not able speak why they have come to attend this session. So we came up with what we call a word technique, and that is what is helping us revamp but also help people succeed in winning scholarships. We also came up with a service called Career Guidance and Personal Discovery. This is a highly demanded for service at African Center for Career Mentorship. Many people, after finishing the first degree, they are not sure what to do next. They really don't know. Actually, even in the survey that we did in 2021, people say that they don't know what to do next after finishing the first degree. Currently, the senior 6 results just came back, I think last week or 2 weeks ago. And we are having a number of clients who have come to us because their children, their sons and their daughters are at a point of making a decision. Now, it is a process. Many just send me an inbox and say, tell me which course should I go to? So I keep telling them, can I call you back? So I call them and I show them that actually it is not a small thing of saying, go for this, go for the other. So we came up with what we call a 4W framework. And I innovated this in 2022. And so we use a 4W framework to help them explore and visualize the future. And after visualizing the future, we now begin seeing which courses can help them align with the future. And it takes us around 3 to 4 meetings or to 4 weeks for us to really define where you're heading. Now, many people don't actually want it. I'm just sharing experience. People come to us, and when we begin taking them through the 4W framework, they don't want to go through it. People just want you to tell them, excuse me, you've inboxed me, you've told me that you got 17 points, so you go for law. When you tell them, let's sit back, let's discuss, they don't want to discuss. They don't want to discuss. But we are trying, and so if you want to discuss and chat more about career guidance or what's next after your senior 6 or your university, please, we are happy to speak to you. Esther told me that a number of you are at university and about to finish, so you're our direct client. Now, this is our recent and the newest service that we have just initiated this year, 2024. We realized that there is a very big challenge in high schools, specifically secondary schools. There's a very big challenge. I was invited in 2 international schools in 2022 and 2023. And I was invited in Ugandan or UNEB curriculum-based schools, around 8 of them in 2023 and 2022. And there is a very big challenge. The challenge is with our teachers there. The challenge is with parents because there is a little time given for career guidance. There is a lot of time given to finishing the syllabus. So all the efforts and all the energy is on finishing the syllabus, and there is very little attention given to helping these youth and these students know how to fill Pujabu forms and know how to fill Jabu forms for Ugandan case. So we are working with the schools, and we are just piloting this year. We want to have schools, and then we want to bring those children to 3 different universities. We are yet to choose those universities that will accept to partner with us, such that the professors or the lecturers at universities or the leadership at some of those courses can speak to these children or these students when they are actually still in second term or first term of their high school in senior 6 or senior 5, such that by the time it comes to filling Pujabu forms, the students have an idea which course to go for and which course not to go for. So those are some of the services that we offer. And so you're free to speak to me after this call about them. Now, that is not the main reason why we came here this morning. So let me go to the main reason why we came here this morning. This paper was published this week. I am going to take you through practical session on CV writing because Esther was very generous to me. She was able to get two volunteers who shared 2 CVs with me in preparation for this talk. So those 2 CVs shaped my talk this morning. I am going to have more practical session with members shortly, but let me first of all take you through this paper. This paper was written by Andrew Funnell. It came out this week, and I felt that this paper is a great resource for you to read. I am going to share this paper with Esther, and Esther will be able to share with all of you. But my colleague, Dr. Dan Musinguzi, whom I work with and collaborate with, quickly digitalized this paper into a short video. So Dan Musinguzi is one of he initiated and innovated Digest for Me app. Digest for Me app is a mobile app, is an online app which is fed with scholarship information. Let me add the word credible scholarship information. And that app digests for you as per your needs. For example, if you're studying social sciences and you're planning to go and do masters in business administration, it will receive and bring for you scholarships which are for business administration. So if you want to talk more about that, if you want to know more about that, just Google that, Digest for Me app, or you can talk to me after the session. I will take you through that. So he was able to digitalize that book, which I've just shared with you, into a very short video. Permit me to just share this very short video with you, and then I will take you through the practical session of designing a winning CV. So let me play it.
Sure, you could be the most experienced and accomplished. Avoid these 5 common resume pitfalls. If you've been on the job hunt for a while now and you've barely received a reply, let alone an interview, the likelihood is your resume is letting you down. Sure, you could be the most experienced and accomplished professional in your field, but if you're making basic resume mistakes, your application will still be ignored. The good news is that if you're aware of the common mistakes that too many professionals are making, you can tackle these issues head-on. So, here are 5 of the most common resume pitfalls you need to avoid. 1. Not writing an engaging summary. One of the biggest resume mistakes you can make is not writing an engaging and persuasive summary. This is your chance to introduce yourself to hiring managers, and this section appears right at the top of your resume. So if you get this wrong, you're going to lose their attention instantly. You should avoid long, wordy summaries that are full of vague puffery like talented marketing professional looking for next exciting career opportunity. Instead, you need to keep it short and sweet, using specific keywords and giving examples of your most impressive achievements. Remember, the recruiter will skim through this section, so you need to make it as easy as possible for them to pick out those important details. 2. Creating and submitting a generic resume. The sole purpose of your resume is to prove to the employer that you can do their specific role and that you are genuinely interested in working for their company. If you submit a generic resume, no matter how impressive you think it may be, you're not going to give them the information they need. So, in a matter of seconds, they'll put your application aside. Although it might feel like a lot of work when you're applying for multiple roles, you need to make sure that you do your research to determine exactly what the employer is looking for. You can use the job description to highlight the relevant keywords and skills they require. You can then...
So just to add something there, that's a very important aspect for my talk today, and I felt it should sink. I know a number of us designed a CV in 2021 maybe, and that is the CV we want to attach for every job application or for every job advertised. And that is what they are referring to as submitting a generic CV or resume. Now that is disastrous. And because I've been in the space of mentorship for some time, so I have an idea. I first of all taught in a high school for 9 years. That was 2010, 2018, before I joined Makerere University School of Public Health, where I'm supporting the teaching and research right now. And I've observed some of these. For example, I normally get students inbox me and say, excuse me, sir, I want to apply for this particular job. Because sometimes I also advertise some of those jobs, either for my research projects or even for my 3 organizations which I founded. So I normally intentionally tell them that please send me your 1-page CV. Or I normally say, send me 2-page CV. I want to tell you the truth. I have told this to about, I think, 17 younger professionals, including students. None of them has ever passed this interview. I swear. What students normally do, even professionals normally do, they have a CV they wrote in 2021, and it has academic documents as part of the attachments. Remember, I said, send me your 2-page CV. Somebody sends me 19-page CV with the first 4 pages of their resume and the remaining 15 or 17 page or 14 pages of their academic attachments, having their transcript, having their certificate, having their date of their birth certificate, having their national ID, having their school IDs. It is so terrible. So I normally say, did you read my instruction carefully? And then they say, I'm sorry. Then they step back. Then they remove the academic documents, and then they send me 4 pages. I normally again tell them, did you hear me correctly? I said I wanted 2-page CV. Then they now go and begin reformatting it to make it 2 pages. Now that is terrible. If I have done it to 17 students and none of them has passed that interview, that is disastrous. And for me, that is what I want to talk about today. How do you focus your CV to that job you're applying for or to that scholarship that you're applying for? If somebody has said, send me 2-page CV, that person is very clear. 2-page. That person didn't say, send me 19 pages of your CV and academic documents. I am telling you, I had to stop this video and explain to you this because it hurts a lot. And that is where most of our people lose it. I'm telling the truth. So let's continue.
These keywords and requirements more prominent on your resume. This will help hiring managers as they scan through your application to easily determine if you're a good fit for the role. 3. Not showing how you've made an impact. One of the simplest but most damaging mistakes you can make is not showing your impact, particularly in your work experience section. It's not enough to just list your daily responsibilities. Employers want to know how your efforts contributed to the business and made a real impact on the team and bottom line. The best way to do this is to use powerful action verbs, as well as facts and figures, to showcase your skills, biggest achievements, and how you made a real difference. Essentially, you need to prove to the employer why having you on their team will benefit the business. 4. Lying or
Now, I just want to emphasize something on the last comment, which is the mistake number. Chair, am I still on?
Yes, please, you're still on. We can still hear you.
Let's have a recording. Is there a network problem?
I'm not very certain, but let me get in touch with Madam Esther and we see how we can figure it out. Yeah.
Would you suggest I proceed?
Yes, perhaps you can proceed.
That recording, we needed it. Anyway. Now, I want to emphasize something on that bullet number 3, where they say show impact. Okay, so I want to emphasize something on bullet number 3, where they are saying the biggest mistake that we are making, and by the way, I was able to look at the 2 CVs I was sent to this week by Excellent Esther. And truly, they had made the same mistake. For me, that was not shocking because I am in this business, so I see many CVs on almost on a daily basis. Even the people who come for my career coaching, the first thing we do is to discover their potential. The second thing to do is to shape their CV. Now, let me tell you the truth. In the 2 CVs I was sent to, what they did was to show their achievements. The achievements let me use the names, not the true name, but let me just use the name, Solomon. So what they put on the CV, they say the achievements. Then they began showing what they achieved at that role or in that position. And then they began listing the duties they were doing on a daily basis. Now, let me tell you the truth. Somebody who is going to hire you wants you to make a contribution to their organization. They want you to make a contribution to their research group. Their focus, quote me right, their focus is not for you to go there and you achieve individually, or in other words, as yourself as Solomon. No. Their interest is for you to go there and contribute to their organization called the Youth Network, for that organization to go to the next level. Now, when you are showing the impact, you show how your work has impacted your current organization or the previous organizations you have been at. That's the magic bullet. That is the magic bullet. So when you are writing, you show that when I was working at Coca-Cola, this is how my contribution changed Coca-Cola or led to the growth of Coca-Cola, or this is how it impacted other staffs at Coca-Cola. That I did this and it led to this. And here they have advised us that we should use figures, we should use percentages, and we should use action verbs. I designed a daily attendance roster which increased staff arrival by 70%. I designed staff appraisal form that increased staff appraisal process from 20% to 93% in 2 years. Now, in so doing, you're showing them that while you were at Coca-Cola, you were able to innovate something that addressed a very big problem of low staff appraisal from 20% to 93%. Now, that is what we call impact. And let me tell you the truth. If in your front page you are able to demonstrate that impact, the hiring managers do not even read through up to your last page of the CV. They read up to a quarter of the CV, and then they go to the academic background and they see, hey, wow, what did this person study? What degree did this person do? What diploma did this person do? And once they go to academic background, they see that you are meeting the academic requirement they are looking for. The first thing they do is to pick a phone and to call you without them reading page 2 of your CV, without reading page 3 of your CV. That is the power of you demonstrating the impact you have created where you are or where you have been. I don't think that message has sunk. Let me just replay it because it is the core. If you can demonstrate what impact you have had in your current organization or where you have been previously, I will hire you. More so if I also want such an impact. I will not even take the remaining 7 minutes reading your CV. I will tell my personal assistant to contact you immediately for an interview. I will get a direct phone to call you and hear more about your work. Why do I want to hear you? Why do I want to speak to you? It's because of mistake number 4, which we are coming to, which is lying. Because you could have mentioned ABCD when actually you are lying. So why are you organizing for a phone call with you or an interview with you? Is because I want to verify some of the achievements you've made. But I shall come to it. But let me hammer the message of mistake number 3 home.
Responsibilities. But most damaging mistake to easily simplest, but most damaging mistakes. 3. Not showing how you've made an impact. One of the simplest but most damaging mistakes you can make is not showing your impact, particularly in your work experience section. It's not enough to just list your daily responsibilities. Employers want to know how your efforts contributed to the business and made a real impact on the team and bottom line. The best way to do this is to use powerful action verbs, as well as facts and figures, to showcase your skills, biggest achievements, and how you made a real difference. Essentially, you need to prove to the employer why having you on their team will benefit the business. 4. Lying or making bold claims. While it's important to show that you've made an impact and use facts and figures to impress the recruiter, one of the biggest mistakes you can make is to lie or exaggerate. It can be tempting to embellish the truth in order to stand out from other candidates, but wild and unproven claims will actually backfire. For example, referring to yourself as the best car salesperson in the US. This type of claim is usually impossible to prove and can come across as arrogant and even a little embarrassing. Similarly, you don't want to get caught out in a lie. This will make you look untrustworthy, and although you might hope to get away with it, if the employer doesn't work it out whilst reading your application, they certainly will when they interview you. 5. Spelling and grammatical errors. Last but not least, spelling and grammatical errors can stop your application dead. They look unprofessional and, frankly, a bit lazy. It's so important to read and reread your application before you submit it, and if you're still worried about your spelling or grammar, have someone else look over it for you. You can also make use of free online spell checkers just to make sure that your application is free from basic errors and spelling mistakes. After all, attention to detail is an important skill, and spelling and grammatical errors don't look good. So always make sure to double, even triple check your resume before you submit your application. This might seem like such a small, innocent mistake, but it can cause the employer to immediately reject your application, as can generic, boring, or exaggerated resumes. So make sure to avoid these 5 common resume pitfalls and ensure that you always take your time to tailor and perfect every job application you submit. That's the key to job hunting success. Article written by Andrew Fennell, former London recruiter, founder and director of Standout CV. Article published by Forbes on March 11, 2024.
Okay. So, Chair, I could stop there for now, just if at all members have some questions to ask. I am happy I'm happy to respond to questions now before I go through the practical session. Over to you, Chair.
Okay, please. Thank you so much, Mr. Abel, for that enlightening session. Before we go back to hear from Mr. Abel as he takes us through the practical session, if there are any questions about what he has covered so far, please, you can feel free to either raise your hand and ask the question, or maybe write a question in the chat. I'm sure we can still read the question and have Mr. Abel respond to it. So please, members, if you have any questions, you could please go ahead and raise your hand or just type the question in the chat. Yeah. I'm not seeing any questions. Perhaps, Mr. Abel, they are good to go.
Okay.
And they're understanding, so that's very good.
Very good. Yeah, I agree. So,
Yeah.
so I want to continue with my conversation. So, why should we mind about a CV really? Why should it even be making people spend their weekend here? I mean, the early weekend of Saturday, which is a productive time. They could be going for jogging, they could be going for physical fitness. But why are people taking their time to come and listen to this session? Why are people actually minding about this thing of the CV? The truth is that by all means, we must mind about it. So you are not wasting your time. And I want to commend you for attending this session. So these are the reasons why we should mind about a CV and how it looks. Number one, in most cases, to be sincere, in most cases, this CV goes ahead of you. You'll meet somebody in a taxi. In the conversation, you will demonstrate to this person that you are a very responsible person. And this guy says, excuse me, this is my business card. Could you send me your CV tomorrow? Now, what I found people do that before they even go home, before they even reach home, before they even research more about this guy, before they even understand the role this guy could be aiming to hire them for, they immediately send the CV. I have piloted this to 3 people. I met them in a public bus in 2023. So we were talking, and I saw a very organized lady. So she was hinting on the work she has done at the university, actually. So I said that this is impressive. Here's my business card. You send me your CV. I said on Thursday. It was a Tuesday, and I told her, send me your CV on Thursday. Why I told her, send me your CV on Thursday is because I expected her to do double checking about this guy called Abel and double checking about the organization of which the business card I had given to her. Even before she left the bus, I am talking about around 20-40 minutes. She had forwarded me her generic CV. I felt so bad. I told her, Madam, I requested that you send me on Thursday. She said, I'm sorry for that. But because I have it available, I laughed. I said, no, you sent me on Thursday. She said, okay. On Thursday, she sent me the same CV. Actually, she forwarded instead. Didn't even compose a new email. She just forwarded. I said, can I have a meeting with you? She said, yes. I asked her, did you read about me? She said, no. Did you try to think which role I was planning to hire you for? She said, no. So this is CV, you wrote it in pursuing which kind of role? She said, I don't know any. I can do any role. Now, that vagueness, when you are that unclear, your CV will never stand out. Trust me. Even if you do what. But also you are hearing me speak that it is important if you are going to send a CV to this guy called Benjamin, it's important for you to double check who this Benjamin guy is. What is he working on? What are his interests? What role am I likely to be going to? Okay, which role is he likely to give me? What are some of the things that he's struggling with? And you can actually see them on their social media handles. You can actually see them on their websites. You can actually see them on their sales and market if they're on the market anyway. I was amusing 3 mentees in 2022 that actually you can cause MTN Uganda to advertise for a job that they didn't have. They didn't even have in mind. These people laughed. I said, you can actually demonstrate to Stanbic Bank Uganda, and they will give you a job which they hadn't even advertised. They laughed. They asked me how. I said, what you do is that before you sit down in your home in Nasana and you see MTN products, either Nasana or Wakiso or Kampala, and you identify a gap, then you go to the head office and tell MTN head of recruiting that I have identified the gap A, B, and C in your services. Given my competence in A, B, and Y, I can solve this problem here. The human resource manager of MTN is likely to laugh and smile. And is likely to say, are you willing to volunteer with us as you contribute to that problem? I'm whispering to you members who are on the call today. You always say, yes, I'm willing to volunteer. Now, you will be given a small window of opportunity saying, please, you volunteer, you help us. Now, within a space of 3 weeks or a space of 4 weeks, you should have demonstrated that you are coming to MTN Uganda is impactful. So what I am saying is that sometimes you need to identify gaps which organizations are struggling with and position yourself as a solution. Now, that is the biggest problem I am having with the youth and graduates from Uganda so far. I've not explored it so deeply in Africa because that's my lens and that's my focus. But that is the biggest gap among the graduates from Uganda so far. Positioning themselves as the solution this organization is looking for is where the challenge is. So I was telling you we must mind about the CV because somebody will say, send me your CV. That means the CV is going ahead of you. It means that the CV is going to tell them about you before you even arrive there. This means that the CV will dictate either you are invited or not invited. Now, because a CV is such a powerful tool, because a CV goes ahead of you, because a CV dictates the next steps, including interviewing you, appointing you, signing you, deploying you, because a CV dictates all of these next steps, then we must give it the attention it deserves. We should also mind about the CV because it is an opportunity to show your work, education, and other achievements. The achievements I'm referring to are how you impacted where you have been. Quote me right. Quote me right. Don't say when I was working at Pepsi Cola, I bought a vehicle. Those are your personal achievements. When they were hiring you at Pepsi Cola, they didn't hire you to go and buy yourself a vehicle or yourself a nice Prado. But the achievements I'm referring to is how you contributed to Movit Limited Uganda or Movit Uganda Limited to move from here to the next level. Because the CV gives you that platform to tell people that story, we should mind about it. It is also, I should emphasize something. Today, when I was preparing for this talk, I said I would begin with this statement, but I somehow, I didn't begin with it. I am currently helping 2 people improve their CVs. One person has actually done a lot. She's actually a 3rd-year student. She has done a lot during her university time. She has engaged into most activities. She's from Makerere University. She has engaged into these activities. They have organized this. They have organized this. She has organized the beach bash. They have organized this. They have organized the other. So she has a number of things she has been engaged in. She has been a leader. She has been a coordinator. She has been in debating. She has been in a number of things. Now that is the category A student. There is another professional who finished their bachelor's degree and graduated in January, and I'm helping them improve their CV. These people or this person did not engage in any activity at the university. What he has on his CV is, actually, he clearly mentioned that I have no work experience. What he has on his CV are bachelor's, USCE, and UCE. And he has 3 referees, 3 lecturers whom he knows. I said, this is terrible. I said, you don't have anything you've been doing. He said, no. I said, but you went for internship. Am I right? He said, yes, it is true. Can we use that internship and we try to capitalize on that? Because the truth is that your CV is not selling as of now. Said, but you see the problem when I was there, we were so many. I didn't have a chance to even touch a computer, even touch a mouse. I said, yeah, it is true. That is a gap on your side because you were supposed to ensure that you stand out of the crowd. So what am I saying? That even you come for these CV sessions, the issue is not how well to write your CV. The issue is how you have been impactful wherever you have stepped. So it is very important if you are at a university like the way most of you are, for you to engage in some activities which will be part of your CV in the future. Because just imagine if you don't have anything to add on your CV, it is as naked as only having bachelor's, USA and UCE. Even when I try to milk something from internship, you say the truth is that I was not active. I used to dodge some of the sessions. That is challenging, very, very challenging. Even your coach will struggle to get something to put for you in the CV. Anyway, let's continue. Why should you mind about the CV? This CV is an opportunity to reflect on the impact you've created over time. Now, that is a very satisfying thing, by the way. Until I met Dr. Danny Musinguzi, who helped me to reflect on how far and how much I had done. I used to underrate myself. So once you reflect on your achievements to that organization, you begin knowing the value you have. And you begin walking with your head up. But that is if at all you've done something. If you've not been doing something, then it becomes very challenging. So some of the generic things, number one is use past tense. In other words, I did this that led to this. I did this that led to this. I designed this, which contributed to this. I co-worked on this, which led to this. It's very important. Tease out the impact. In brackets, I did this that led to the other. Do not show the roles and responsibilities you were supposed to do. And so some of the action points I just wanted to share with you that are really eye-catching. I created, I analyzed, I produced, I developed, I solved, I increased, I designed, I invented, I founded, I formulated, I discovered, I modified, I advocated. So this is by Dr. Danny Musinguzi. This was a training he was giving me in 2021. And once I began looking at my CV and making it impressive, the story has not remained the same. So these are some of the aspects I am suggesting that we put in our CVs. The first one is your name, comma, your current address, and I'm referring to the current role that you are doing, and your email address and telephone number. Please don't put your religion. Please don't put your marital status. Please don't put your date of birth. Those three things. Don't put your tribe. Please don't. Don't put the languages that you can speak. No, they have nothing to do with the role that you are going to do. And by the way, they bias the recruiters for nothing. Let me tell you a story. There are people who just feel that maybe many are not good at saving. Now, if you overemphasize that you know, I'm a man, I am a man, you may be put aside just because of that. So don't overfocus. So don't put your date of birth, don't put your gender, don't put your tribe, don't put your religion. They bias the recruiters for nothing. The bias could be to your advantage, but also the bias could be against you. So please shun away from them. Instead, demonstrate what you have been able to do. It is what you have been able to do that will make them say, wow, we need to have this person. So these are some of the components I'm suggesting we could have in your CV. One is the address. Number two is a short description of yourself. Who are you? Who are you? In just 2 sentences, who are you? That's very important. Number three is for you to point out outstanding contributions. What have you been able to do? Then you'll be able to show your interests. For example, if you did social sciences, we know that we tend to cover quite a lot, more so for the Ugandan perspective. We cover quite a lot in social sciences. We really cover a lot. Now, you need to help the hiring manager that even when we covered a lot in my social sciences, my areas of focus are gender, emancipation, and maybe this. Please don't mention so many interests. Mention 3 or 2. If you mention many, they will interpret it as somebody who is not focused or who is not decided. So you try to mention some of the interests one that align with the job we are applying for, but also that aligns with your career aspirations. Then from there, you begin talking about the work experience or the career roles that you've had. Then from there, you talk about the education. If you realize that the education, I am putting it number 5, I'm not putting it the first thing. Why? Education biases people. Somebody just looks at you and say, this person did arts in arts. I say, what can this one also do? What can this person also do? So what you do, you put education behind there. You first impress them. Show them what you've been able to do in your previous work or when you were at school, at the university. Show them. Then they say, wow, what did this person study? Let them go and look for it. After they have been impressed by what you have told them under job or career. That is the logic. Otherwise, if you begin by bringing education background in front, say, we are looking for people who did the law. What did somebody who did international studies also tell me? So it biases people up front. And because it biases them, they put the CV aside and they don't go through what you've done. So what you do, you make them anxious to know what you studied by demonstrating what you've been able to do under career or work experience. Then from there, I suggest after education, you put short courses that you have undertaken. It's very important to undertake short courses. I met one of my mentees actually. He has upgraded from a diploma level up to master's level. This gentleman has never attended any conference in his field. This gentleman has never done any short course in his field. This gentleman has not published his diploma work, his bachelor's work, and even his master's work. And he was so disappointed and frustrated why he's not getting a job, yet he has a second class upper. He actually has 4.25 out of 5.00 CGPA at master's level. It is so terrible. You cannot have you don't have any short course you've done, no any conference you've attended. You are not a member of any association of your profession. For example, if you did gender studies, there could be Uganda Gender Studies Association or Gender Association something. Please join it. It's very important. I highly recommend you to join them. And when you're writing your CV, clearly mention that you are affiliated to them, because people associate you with professionalism if you demonstrate that. Then from there, you can put honors and awards, and then scientific conferences and publications or community service. Now, some organizations actually tell you what you should put there. They actually dictate that please put here, and put here. So it's actually very important for you to articulate that. So I want to show members my short CV just as we conclude. I think that it is the one I said it is going to be practical. But before I actually show, let me just help 2 people to see if they can demonstrate the impact they have created, because that's the magic bullet. Chair, you request 2 people just to mention one. Okay, let me take it on. Let me not take the chair. Somebody let me just get any volunteer. Anyone who should volunteer, I just want to ask you a very small question from your previous role or the current role. I want to see whether we can tease impact from your work. Anyone who is ready, just raise up your hand. Because the magic bullet is you teasing out that I did this role and I did this and this is the impact I created in that organization. Let me just get any volunteer.
Could anyone be willing to volunteer and
Yeah, because if we just keep talking without somebody seeing how it is done, they will struggle to do it after this call. Many people attend these sessions, but the challenge is practicability. In other words, doing it after is where the challenge is. So let me just get a volunteer to try to say, this is the role I am doing and this is the impact I'm creating. Over to you, Chair. Okay, Carol. Carol, we have worked together. Carol is my mentee. We have worked together for a long time. For her, she knows these things. Carol, let me get another person. Carol is a high achiever. Is a very high achiever. She has just finished from Makerere with a first class degree. And we did a lot of mentorship with Carol. So Carol, you put your hand down. Okay, let me have Kara. Kara, you unmute. Kara, you unmute. Unmute. Kara, you are muted still. You could be struggling.
Hello.
Kara, are you there?
Yeah, hello, morning.
Yeah, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning,
Yeah.
members.
You just share with me one professional role you've done previously, but in some of the impact you created. Just mention 2 impacts that you created from that role that you did.
Okay. I went through a training for software. For soft skills, and it has helped me build the confidence of work colleagues. I have helped them upgrade from a place of having a smaller pay to a better pay, to know when they can delegate, to concentrate on specific works they can do, and they do them much better without being overwhelmed because they know they can handle this instead of taking much. Is that an example that can work?
It is. It is actually you are there around there. For me, I see around 3 big things that you've done there. And if you put them in that paragraph, we are likely to miss gold. Now, what we do with let me just show you something. What we do with CV writing, is that we use bullets. We use bullets and we try to fit on one line. Now, from what you've just put, you've actually done a lot. We can put around 3 bullets from there. Can you try to tease out the first bullet? That maybe I trained 7 staffs that increased this. I enabled 7 staff to learn to prioritize this, which increased their efficiency at something. Can you try to tease out 3 things out of that story you've just given?
Okay, so thank you for the opportunity. I was able to actually improve the communication space amidst the people I work with, because I supervise a department.
Clara,
And,
just to cut you short.
yes.
So, Kara, you see, there is still an issue there, the issue of you teasing out the impact. Now, the impact can be got in terms of numbers. So you can say, I trained 10 staffs in 10 staffs in soft skills, which increased this. So we can discuss deeper and we see how you can tease out the impact. Let me get another person before I show members something. I think on the next person I have is Elizabeth. Elizabeth, can you unmute? And we try to see if you can tease out the impact. Because if you can see, Kara has actually done a lot. The only issue is trying to get numbers out of that work and what it led to. Elizabeth, try to unmute.
Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, could you share just
So
what any one professional worker you did and the impact it led to?
I've worked as a graduate trainee under my head of department, and in this role, I was required to be. I was delegated to be in between the people the head of department would supervise and would relay information from them about the state of work back to my head of department. In this role, I was able to increase to help the work be planned for better by increasing the, should I say, speed of reporting back the state of works. So they would get information faster. And also I would be required to put in orders to stock up on materials that were needed for works coming in the future from this information I got from the people who are doing the work.
Okay, thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you. We shall continue refining it and reshaping it and making bullets, in other words, short sentences out of that. Let me hear from Carol. Carol, just unmute and we chat briefly. I know, Carol, you've been in the field for a very short time, but Carol, could you just try to tease out some of the roles that some of the professional work you've done, just get one, and the impact your work has led to. Carol, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm currently working on a project under antimicrobial stewardship, and we are looking at capacity building. So one of the things I would identify is trained over 500 health workers on antimicrobial stewardship, which increase their knowledge and competences to address these issues in their health facilities.
Do you want to add there the time frame when you did this training? Like you trained 500 health workers on AMR stewardship, in which period? Because you could have done that in 20 years, but if the aspect of the time frame or the period helps somebody to see what actually you're meaning, can you try to show I did this in this time frame and it led to this?
Trained, let's say 500 health workers between June and July 2024 on antimicrobial stewardship, which increased their knowledge and practice in health facilities.
Okay, thank you. And because of time, we'll continue. But I just wanted to show members the sections of the CV which I was talking about. The first one, I said the name and your address. So it's important for you to show people your name and your current role, or the current, how they should know you as per that application. And then you show them where you are currently affiliated. In other words, where should they find you if they want to find you? And then you put your email and then your telephone number. I say don't put your religion, don't put your date of birth, don't put your tribe, don't put your language. The second thing we said is to briefly introduce yourself. Who are you? Who are you? If they are trying to understand who you are, who are you? So I'm telling them, and I'm Oxid leadership, executive leadership alumnus of Institute for National Transformation with international leadership and management experience and African Union. So what I'm trying to demonstrate for them there, this was I was applying for a small consultancy in Somaliland. for me to do a strategic plan for them. So I wanted to demonstrate to them that I have been doing this work and I understand aspects of leadership and management. That was the main motive which I was putting. So that is the first part. They said, describing yourself. Who are you? Yeah. So then from there, I try to tease out some of the outstanding contributions that I have had there. And then I try to tease out the interest. I put quite a number of them because I wanted it to, they had a wider scope of the work for the consultant. So I wanted to tease out some of the things for them to know that I am able to do this, I am able to do this, I am able to do this. You see, I also teased out quite very fast for concluded consultancies. The interest was for me to demonstrate for them that the work I am going to do or I'm requesting to do for them, it is not the first time. So I've been doing this kind of work. That was the interest at that time. Anyway, you can see, then from there I come to the career. Remember, I haven't even gone to education because I told you education should come later on. Education biases people a lot. People think that this one did gender studies, what can she do? So first demonstrate for them what you've done. So you can see my first point here. I say I initiated an initiative which has helped 1,789 students and early career professionals since August 2021. So I was trying to tease out the impact there. So it gave strategic leadership organization that attracted 70 partners in 2 years. So I was trying to show them that under my role as a founder for African Center for Career Mentorship, I have been able to do A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z. Then I said created online content for YouTube, which has helped over 17 people in accessing contents in their CV. I need to update this. This was a gap because right now we have over, I think, 470 views on the CV content. Then I came to another role, which is a board chair for African Youth Action Network from September 2021 up to now. Then this is what I told them, that gave strategic direction to the organization that attracted grants worth $1,400,000 USD in 2 years. Now, this is the impact I'm trying to show them. What you see me showing here is the impact to them. Led and trained staff and strategic planning for AYAN that enable development of the strategic plan in 3 days. Trained 23 staff on communication skills, conflict management, change management, effectiveness, and efficiency at work. That led to what? I didn't complete this. I'm supposed to show that led to this. When I say chaired 6 board meetings in 2 years, what did it lead to? I'm supposed to show after chairing these meetings, what has that led to? So that's the impact I was trying to tell you. Then I come to another role, Director for Youth Empowered Training. This was last year. I said jointly conceptualize a joint youth leadership entrepreneurship program for 128 youth, which has increased awareness about National Development Plan 3. So I'm trying to tease out the impact there. Co-designed the curriculum for youth leadership and the entrepreneurship program, which helped to empower, no, this is a gap, not to empowered, to empower over 128 youth. Now, what you see me trying to do is to demonstrate the impact I have had in that role. Then made 2 presentations during the yearly program on leadership, management, and career advancement in the 21st century, which inspired 128 youth into national level issues. Now, what you see me trying to do is showing the impact, And then I went on, and this is actually available. I shared this in one of the YouTube channels. I show all of these things here. I show the percentages, and then later on, I show them my education background. I tell them, look, I did from INT. July, December, I did an auxiliary executive leadership course, and my project was this. I won't dwell much there. I was able to show them other professional trainings. Now, this is what I was meaning as being short courses. This is what I was meaning by saying these are the short courses that you point out. These short courses are very important for them to know that actually you get knowledge or you get information. It is not good that you last maybe studied 7 years ago and you've not been doing any learning, because the things keep changing. Then from there, I show them some of the awards and some of the honors that I have received. So some of them there, then because I wanted to show them that I can write, or I can write a report, or I know how to do scientific work. I also showed them that, look, I have this number of publications. And then I showed them some of the community service projects which I am doing, because the interest was to show them that, look, I am not just after money. I also do certain things for free. That was the interest. But if you can see, even with this small work, I try to bring out I try to bring out the numbers as much as I can. If you can see it here, I try to bring out numbers as much as I can. The interest is to market yourself and sell yourself. Numbers are eye-catching, percentages are eye-catching. Colleagues, I just wanted to share with you some of these aspects, and this is what I had prepared to talk to you on CV writing and coming up with an engaging or a winning CV. Chair, sorry, I've spoken for a long time, but back to you. Back to you now.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abel. The session has been very engaging and informative, and for sure we had also lost track of time because we were so deeply engaged in learning from you, and we are very grateful. Thank you so much for really sparing the time to speak to us and to coach us, the young people, as we also prepare for life after school. So as I can see in the chat, there are so many questions right now, and perhaps we shall try to perhaps I should read out the question and then maybe you give an answer and then we go to the next, like that. I don't know if that's okay with you, Mr. Abel.
That is very okay. That's okay.
All right. So the first is probably a comment from Miss Jacqueline, who says that she'd like to request for a CV session face-to-face with you, with the facilitator. And also I had seen a question previously requesting for your contact information. So perhaps we could answer those two at the same time. And perhaps you could answer to Jacqueline. Yes.
Yeah, those are very easy. Those are very easy. Very, very easy. So the first one is my phone number is here, and members can take a photo of that. And then somebody is asking for our YouTube channel. It's African Center for Career Mentorship. If you just put African Center for Career Mentorship, 3 things will pop up: our YouTube, our website, and our social media handles, either LinkedIn or Twitter. You'll see them. So just put African Center for Career Mentorship, and you'll see there is actually a detailed teaching about CV writing as well. It is there. Over to you.
All right. Thank you very much. So the next is a question from Jalia Risasi, where he or she is asking, what should one capitalize on if they have done quite a number of stuff? So I'm assuming this is to do with the CV, and you're talking about experience. So what should one capitalize on? Yes.
Actually, some of the things you may be silent about. Some of the things you may not talk about almost everything, because you try to align with the job roles that you're applying for. An example is myself. There are so many other roles I have done, but in this application, I hid them. I didn't talk about them. I was silent about them. I only wanted to show them what they would maybe want to hear. So in other words, in the CV writing, you try to put yourself in the shoes of the hiring manager. Say, these guys, what are they looking for in the candidate? I think they are looking for somebody who is well connected. So, I put for them office of the president, blah, 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 blah. Okay. What are they also looking for? Maybe somebody who has been in international bodies, maybe African Union. So you see, I put youth ambassador for African Union, you see. So what I'm saying, Chair, is that you try to play with the mind of the hiring team. You try to give them content that you think they are looking for. But how do you do that? Go on their social media pages, go on their website, and then they read that advert upside down. Change it upside down. What are they saying by saying this role, these duties here? Are they struggling with this? If they are saying this duty here, are they struggling with somebody doing this? Yeah. Over to you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abel. I'm sure, Jali, I hope your question has been answered because Mr. Abel has done a really good job explaining that. The next question is from Gideon, and he's asking, are we supposed to put career objectives in our CV?
Now, career objective is what you help them know that these are my interests. Career objective is like, these are the things I want to pursue moving forward. So if you are engaging me, these are the things I am happy to contribute. Okay, these are the things that motivate me. These are the things that I aspire to do. You see, let me tell you something. Time comes in a job whereby the pay they give you does not move you, does not motivate you to do the daily tasks. Let me tell the truth. Time comes, even if they give you 10 million, you feel so devastated and not happy. So what keeps you going are the career aspirations. I recently had a chat with one of my clients. She works with one of the banks in Uganda. Now, her heart is not in the bank at all. However, she got a 6-year loan. So she's doing this work because her husband lost a job, but she has to pay for this loan. So she's doing this job just because she has to pay for this loan. You have no idea. This lady cried when we were going through the career guidance session. When she went through personal discovery, she discovered her heart is on different things, not the work she was doing. So what am I saying is that career objective, don't tell them that. Just demonstrate that is one of the interests that you are keen to undertake and keen to be deployed through. Chair, over.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that response. There is another question here from Jalia, where she is asking, for you to throw more light. The question is saying that I have not understood what short description entails. Also,
Yeah.
is it the same as the personal statement?
No,
And then how can they bring out aspects of research in
short
the CV?
description? Yeah, sorry, Chair. Short description, it is when you are trying to define who you are. They are trying to demonstrate who you are. I am a pharmacist with 4 years experience working on ABC. Now that description, you do it in line with what they are looking for. If they are looking for a brand manager for MTN Uganda, you tell them, I am a communications specialist who specialized in branding with 10 years experience in content creation and editing and branding. So Chair, you hear, you answer in a nutshell what you are able to do, but you try to align with what they have asked in the job role or in the job advert. Then somebody says, how do you bring the research component? That's a very interesting one. Let me see if I have research component is a very interesting one. Let me see a research component. I think I can just use one of these ones here. This one here. I said this one, but this is not a research role per se. But I have helped very many people doing. Let me give an example. Somebody is working as a research coordinator on this project called this. So what you do, you put, say, research coordinator here. Then you mention the project you are working on. Then you put in brackets the period which you have been on. then you show, like now you had Karen tell you that I conceptualized this. Okay, we have trained this, which have led to the other. We conceptualized this, which led to this and the other. But I think I didn't have any, in this CV, I didn't put anything on grants. But because of that request, Chair, just allow me for 1 minute. I get a CV that I demonstrated something on grants, on grants writing, because it's a very important ingredient for people to demonstrate that they have ever done this.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Yes, this is a quick one here. So
Alright.
it's in research, it's important to show the following. It's important to show that you have ever attracted funding for research. It's very, very important for research. That's one. The second thing to do in research is if you have been mentoring, it's important to demonstrate that you have been supervising students or mentoring students. Then in research, if you have been publishing or working as a journal editor, it's important to show that you've been reviewing or editing. Then for research, it's very important to demonstrate your publications and highlight your name. So this is what I was demonstrating here. This is research. It's very, very important. Over to you, Chair.
Yes, please. Unfortunately, our time is fast spent, but Mr. Abel, there are
Yes.
3 questions here that I hope maybe you could just spare a few minutes and answer. Maybe I'm going to just read them all and then you could answer for us these. So the first one is that there are scenarios when the time window for applying for an opportunity is very small. For example, like a few hours. How would you manage to avoid submitting something generic? The second question is that if one is unable to express impact in numbers and percentages, how else could they perhaps show their impact? Then the third is what happens if the volunteer work or achievements are in a religious organization, but the job you're applying for is not one in a religious organization? And maybe there is someone also requesting for if maybe you could be willing to share with us the documents of the CVs so that they could then go and look at them later on. Yeah, I hope maybe there are also other questions here, but perhaps Mr. Abel, I know the questions will keep on coming. So if you'd be so kind to organize another session, we would be very glad. But maybe you can answer those 3 for today.
Okay, thank you. I'm happy to you please work with Excellent Esther to organize another session for CV writing. It's very engaging and I'm happy, very, very excited. Members are giving it attention it deserves. What happens if you have a very short time frame? Maybe somebody has forwarded you this advert now and they want it in 2 hours. Sometimes what I do is if I see a very limited window, I normally tell my mentees, you can push, but don't expect much. You can push your CV there, but don't expect much from it. Number 2, if you can get a quiet place, like for me, I normally step out from office. I step out from office, go to a quiet place, and try to adjust and change a few things underlined with the job roles they're advertising for. Sometimes you may be lucky, they can see, wow, this is a good person. I think she was rushed. Let's have her and she can tell us more about her role, maybe something like that. But if you know that the time is very short, you may let it go, but trying is better than letting it go. I highly recommend don't just close out. You can throw something even if you don't expect much, but you put there. You may be lucky and they call you for more information. The second question was, what happens if the roles you have been putting they are in religious, but the job you're applying for is not different? By the way, you may be shocked that just those religious roles you have been doing is what inspires these guys to take you on. Most of the employers want people who will be able to do other things beyond the professional work. People who can help them with IT, help them set up a choir or a fellowship at their workplace. So please don't fear to put it there. Or now, if you are worried that it may not market you so much, you put it under community service. Community service shows some of the things I am doing at my free time, like a church, like a Rotary, like a community cleaning, like those religious engagements. So please, you put it there. The last question, somebody said, what happens if I can't able get numbers and impact? In our training, when we work with you, we make sure we grill numbers from you. And of course, it is also possible that we may fail to get it, because just look at the other candidate who was at Makerere and only studied, just on his CV, he has a bachelor's, USC and UCE. And like, you didn't do anything. You didn't engage in any club or an association, like maybe for groups. No, you didn't do any group discussion or presenting in a group work. Says no. So chair, it can also be challenging, but through a coach, we can try to tease out that impact with you. Over to you, chair.
All right. Thank you so much. Ms. Abel, about the document for the CVs, I don't know.
Yes, I am happy to share them. I'm going to share them with excellent Esther, and Esther should be able to send it to members.
Right. All right. Thank you so much. So members, Mr. Abel is a busy man. We have taken some of his time, so perhaps we should let him go now. But to you, Mr. Abel, I'm very grateful on behalf of everyone who has attended today. We have certainly gotten insights that we did not have previously, and for sure, it is going to help us improve on our CVs and maybe help us get bigger opportunities that would not have been able to if we hadn't attended, if you hadn't spared the time. So thank you so much, sir. We are very grateful. I'd also like to thank Madam Esther for organizing these webinars and for continuing to help us to keep on growing. We're also grateful, Madam Esther, and everyone from the Institute for National Transformation. Yes, so Mr. Abel, perhaps you could give us some final words and then we could close.
No, I don't have really much. Thank you so much, INT. I am happy to come back and continue talking, because we should care about a CV, because it goes ahead of us. It's an opportunity for us to demonstrate the impact we have had over time. It's an opportunity for us to show the work and education that we have and make sure that we are fit for that job that we are applying for. Over to you, and bye-bye to everyone.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Abel. I don't know if Madam Esther would like to share with us something small, and then we could close and have a very nice weekend. Madam
No.
Esther?
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Abel. Thank you so much, Lemi, for moderating, and thank you everyone for coming. I think we can conclude. And you can close us off with a prayer, then we leave.
All right. Let's humble ourselves for a closing prayer. Dear God, we thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to be here today. We thank you very much for enabling us to learn so much that we didn't know previously, and for guiding our instructors to have the wisdom to share with us and help us build us in our journey. We ask for your guidance and blessings as we move forward in this life, and we glorify your name. Amen. Thank you very much, everyone, and let's have a beautiful weekend.